Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to the channel. It is a beautiful Sunday afternoon here, and my wife has taken the kids out. So that means I've got some time to create some content. I have got an announcement. I'm going to be, for my own personal reasons, going to be trying to publish one video every 2 days. You may have noticed that my videos have become less frequent recently, and it is a multitude of things. The job, the new baby, blah 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 blah. Lots of things have meant that I've just not been able to put out as much content as I wanted to, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and that's made me less productive. So I'm going to try and stick to one every 2 days instead of once a day, and I'm going to try and put out some different type of content. Gameplay content is fun, and I know that some of you guys like it, but for the most part, you guys are here to learn about the game and to learn about the best builds and how to play champions, and that is what I'm going to try and focus on this channel. So this is the channel that you should come to if you're looking for the very best builds from a variety of sources, including Korean, Chinese, SEA, Europe, North America, like all those types of top levels of play. I'm going to try and get the cool builds and show you guys what's going on across the world in Wild Rift. Also for esports, I'm going to do way more esports content this year because Wild Rift has ramped up its esports massively for 2022. So what's this video all about? I've blabbered on. Well, before we get into it, thanks to G2A for sponsoring the channel. There is a reference link in the description below. This video is the best AD carries this patch with the best builds from one of the best AD carry players in Europe. All of these builds have been given to me by ImtheDoom. I'm going to link his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel in the description below. He has challenger uploads on his channel pretty frequently on YouTube, and he streams pretty much daily to 400 or 500 people. He's an excellent player, deserves all of the love, and I'll send you guys his way. So I'm going to start with Misfortune. This is the Misfortune build that he suggests. Manamune into Serralda's Grudge, Edge of Night, but only complete Edge of Night. So what you do is you go Manamune into Serrated Dirk. You can then go into Edge of Night if you need the spell shield. So the distinction here is if you need the spell shield, like you're versus a lot of crowd control, you need to stop getting binded by someone. You want to try and block a stray Z ultimate. That's what the Edge of Night is completed for. Otherwise, finish Serralda's Grudge, then Edge of Night, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, and that is your complete build. You'll notice that I've left the boots at tier 1, so does he. Boots are flexible. You could go for the healing boots, you can go for Ninja Tabai, you can go for Mercury Treads, and obviously most AD carries these days go for the Stasis enchant, but obviously you can go for the Hextech Proto Belt or the Proto Belt enchant. A lot of high level AD carries go for Proto Belt because they trust themselves. If you don't trust yourself, definitely better to go for Stasis. In terms of runes, and you'll notice that the runes are the same for every AD carry, so I'm not going to go over them multiple times. Conqueror, Hunter Vampirism, Adaptive Carapace, and Sweet Tooth. And the standard solo queue spells that you should be looking to take are Flash and Barrier, if you're not paired up with a support in duo queue. Cool. That's Misfortune. Pretty exciting stuff. I think she's... the way that Doom told me is that Misfortune should be for people that are below Diamond and don't feel comfortable running Draven. He says that he would almost always prefer to play Draven unless there is a specific scenario where the Misfortune ultimate with Serralda's is going to be very strong, maybe into like a heavy melee composition. But if you're Diamond and above as an AD carry and you're really looking to climb, Draven is your boy. So speaking of Draven, let's go over and take a look at him. So this is Draven. You guys will probably know Draven as a very interesting AD carry. He's quite difficult to play, realistically. However, Doom says that if you're above Diamond, this is a champion that you should definitely be looking to practice. You probably have the mechanics to start making this guy work, and he's one of the few AD carries that can really actually carry, solo from the AD carry role. Huge burst damage, very snowbally. If he gets his passive procced, early to mid game, you can very much take over a game with this guy. The way that Doom builds is Vamp Scepter into Infinity Edge, Solari Charge Blade, Mortal Reminder, Bloodthirster, and I'd imagine the final item would be something along the lines of the Guardian Angel. I'm not going to talk about boots again, because if you watched Misfortune, you'll know that boots are flexible and can be anything from gluttonous to ninja or plated steel caps to Mercury Treads, and obviously the enchant really depends on your confidence level. I would say that a lot of high tier AD carries are going Proto Belt right now because they trust themselves to use it in the right scenario. But if you don't trust yourself, Stasis is always a good one just to keep yourself in a safe position. But with someone as aggressive as Draven, I actually think that the Proto Belt enchant is a pretty good option for him. And again, runes, I've already talked about them. Not going to talk about them again. running heal with Draven, but actually you can run barrier, of course, as well. Really depends on the setup that you have with either your AD carry. But heal is nice for Draven because it gives you the bit of the speed boost, so it gives you a bit more agency when looking to chase someone down. So Draven's one of those AD carries that actually might use heal more frequently, or want to use heal more frequently. Plus, you generally like to pair Draven with an aggressive support who's going to want to take Ignite. So, you know, that's why I think having the heal on the Draven is the better idea. But he's a great pick, and I think overall has lots of carry potential, more so than maybe any other AD carry if you can play him properly. Kaisa is one of those champions that you build very interestingly. Obviously, you go for the components first to then get as many of your evolutions as quickly as possible. There are plenty of Kaisa guides out there on how to do that, so I'm not going to show you like the component by component build that you have a lot of guides do, because you can go and search that for yourselves. Essentially, it involves buying a BF sword, completing Blade of the Ruined King, and then building a Ginsu's, or at least part of a Ginsu's, to allow you to get both your Q, or your first ability, and your third ability evolutions. That's kind of the way that you play Kaisa. But in terms of the full build, this is the build that Doom plays right now. I took a stab at the last item being Guardian Angel. I imagine Guardian Angel is a pretty solid choice for Kaisa, given that your ultimate allows you to dive pretty heavily into the backline. But Blade of the Ruined King, Ginsu's, Infinity Edge, Seralda's, which works really well with your Acathian Rain, which is your first ability, and obviously then the Guardian Angel just to keep you safe. Runes are the same as every other AD carry. You'll notice that all the AD carries have the same runes in Doom's pages, because I think Hunter Vampirism, especially if you are just involved in 5 kills in the game, you get such value out of it, more so than Brutal can give you realistically in terms of a game changer. And spells for Kaisa, better to have that defensive extra of a barrier. You know, I think Draven having heal is very much a Draven thing. Obviously, there is a reason that you could take heal if you're duo with a support and your support wants to go for exhaust or ignite. But for solo queue, you'll find that most of the supports are going to take heal, and you'll end up taking barrier. It keeps you the safest and offers you the most defensive options as an AD carry. And this is Kaisa, another one of the strong AD carries in the meta right now. Okay, so Lucian, one of my favorite AD carries in the meta right now. I think he's super mobile, can be super aggressive, has plenty of damage to work with, and a lot of the items really favor him. The build that Doom has suggested for me is Infinity Edge into Solari Charge Blade into Seralda's Grudge. So Solari Charge Blade plus Infinity Edge is your 2-item damage combo. Seralda's Grudge gives you that extra little bang, plus gives you massive utility with your Piercing Light, your second ability, and your ultimate. Lucian ultimate plus Seralda's Grudge is a bit of a game changer. Follow that up with Bloodthirster for the sustain, and round the build out with a Black Cleaver towards the end, which gives you ability haste, a bit of health, but more importantly, some extra armor shred, which goes on the top of Seralda's Grudge, and also benefits all AD carry or all physical damage champions on your team too. Not going to talk about the boots. We've had that discussion. Those boots are flexible. They can go for Gluttonous, plated, Mercury Treads, and we've had that discussion between Hextech Belt and Stasis, although I would suggest Hextech Belt or the Belt enchant on Lucian is really good because it provides him just that extra little dash and can make him super mobile. Runes we've talked about, they're the same for every AD carry, and obviously barrier and heal being the go-to when it comes to Lucian. Really strong AD carry in the meta right now. Thoroughly recommend that you play him before he gets nerfed, because he is, I think, almost certainly going to get nerfed at some point in the near future. He's really strong. Everyone's favorite 1v9 AD carry, Vayne. Needed to add her into the pile because I think she is a super strong AD carry right now, and in the right hands can really take over a game. Blade of the Ruined King into Solari, into Phantom Dancer, Wit's End, like attack speed all over the place. Very in contrast to things like Lucian and Draven. You know, she is attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. You really want to make use of that second ability as much as possible. Then finish things off with a Infinity Edge just for that extra hit. But you don't need the Infinity Edge to really kind of take over as Vayne. Most of your damage is coming from your passive on your second ability, your True Silver Bolts, and obviously just the Phantom Dancer gives you a little bit of extra lifeline. Excuse the pun, that's literally the name of the passive. And the Wit's End gives you some on-hit damage too. Plus, combined with the Solari Charge Blade on-hit damage, you know, you're looking at a lot of on-hit damage that works really well. Vayne is a really good AD carry right now, and actually spikes pretty quickly. Like, she used to be very much a 4-item or bust type of AD carry. But realistically now, with just like 2 items like Solari Charge Blade plus Blade of the Ruined King, you can actually really start to kind of accelerate games in your favor. Same runes, same spells. Don't need to talk about it too much in detail, but Vayne really is, I think, a top tier AD carrier in the meta at this point.